Hi and welcome back. Nancy Bover with Agape and NEXsteps. And I wanted to bring up again about our facilities that are housing seniors. I know that in the past I've spoken about a lot of the issues that we're confronted with, the fact that we are having trouble finding enough staff for these facilities, the fact that we don't have enough places to house our aging population. But I read an article over the weekend that was published in the Globe and Mail, and it kind of brought this to a head again for me. It was an article about the senior homes in Quebec, and they are having to shut down simply because they can't afford to operate. Between actually finding staff and the cost of regulation and other rising costs, Quebec has lost about 1,100 senior homes in the past decade. Now, I don't know, many of you may remember hearing about a fire in a senior's home in 2014 in Quebec that killed 32 residents. And as a result of that, the provincial government at that time mandated that any seniors facility that had 10 or more beds had to install sprinkler systems. Now, granted, we have to have regulation. We have to make sure that we are having our vulnerable population taken care of and that there is some oversight to make sure that these people are not being abused or taken advantage of. But when these mandates come in, we have to make sure that they are being equally applied across the spectrum for all vulnerable citizens that are involved. For instance, in Quebec, it is these senior homes with 10 rooms or more that have to install sprinkler systems if they don't already have them. But those same rules do not apply to other facilities that take care of other vulnerable individuals or to small hospitals. So it makes me question why just the seniors facilities were singled out. If we're going to take care of our vulnerable populations, we have to take care of them across the board. The biggest issue, they've lost about 600 senior homes, they estimate, in the past 4 years, just simply because they can't afford to retrofit. This one particular operator who was interviewed for the article said that the lowest quote he could get was $150,000, which he does not currently have, and no bank will lend the money to any facility that has less than 50 beds. So that leaves him between a rock and a hard place. He wants to comply, but he can't get the funding. So again, maybe there needs to be something set up so that the province is providing interest-free loans or something that allows these facilities to do what they need to do to be complying with the new legislation without having to close their doors. Because, back to our big problem, we don't have enough places to house our aging population as it is. And when we have even more closing down, that creates more and more pressure. A lot of facilities across this country have been structured so that they provide what is called, depending on your jurisdiction, supported living, which basically provides some basic housekeeping and meals and snacks. However, because we don't have enough facilities, these places that are supposed to be for aging people who can still support themselves, still take care of themselves, they are now having to house people who have more complex care needs, people who need help bathing, people who need help dressing, people with dementia. And that is not fair to those individuals who need more care, nor is it fair to the people who went into these facilities looking for just to have to not clean their house anymore and not to have to cook meals, to suddenly be in this environment that is not what they signed up for. Costs are a big issue. Finding staff is a big issue. And again, maybe we need to look at some out-of-the-box solutions. I know there are different organizations here in Alberta. We have the organization ASHA, ASCHA, and they have members who are a lot of the seniors' facilities, and they end up with some advantages because they are operating more or less as like a cooperative. They get some buying power. So maybe what we need to do is look at giving some buying power to these seniors' facilities so that they can get better quality food for the residents because they're all part of a cooperative, for lack of a better word, that can get some bulk pricing. I know of a company that specializes in energy efficiencies for commercial and industrial facilities. They can save these places a minimum of 20% of their energy costs every month. Those are savings worth taking a look at. And in my opinion, any facility that doesn't at least open their doors to having a meeting with this company is throwing money away. That's 20% that they would save on their energy costs that can be put into other areas of their operations budget. Maybe there is some funding that needs to be reallocated. Maybe we need, back to some of my earlier videos and earlier articles, maybe what we need to do is we need to reallocate some of our resources so that we can house our aging population, our seniors who are still capable of living on their own, but need some supports, need a housekeeper to come in, need some help with some meals, need some help with some shopping. Maybe what we have to do is look at allowing these people to live in a more independent setting with those supports in place, freeing up those spots in the seniors' facilities that are currently available for those people with more complex needs. No matter how you look at it, these are not easy decisions. But I would say that when our governments and our health authorities make specific mandates with, of course, the best interests of our vulnerable population in mind, make sure that it is something that is attainable and provide the supports so that it can happen. I'm going to leave you with that for today. Give me your thoughts. I'm always open to hearing your thoughts and your comments, and I look forward to talking with you next time. Bye for now.